You want to talk about disrespect? Because what happened on SmackDown wasn't just chaos, it was a straight-up line being crossed, and Sami Zayn finally snapped. No warning, no mercy, no hesitation. Sami Zayn didn't walk into SmackDown looking for a fight, the fight found him, and he made damn sure everyone felt it. Trick Williams thought he was untouchable. Damian Priest thought he was in control. And Sami Zayn? Sami was done being the guy who understands or lets things slide. And let me ask you this right now, was Sami Zayn justified, or did he go too far? Drop that in the comments before we even get deeper. Because the second Trick Williams opened his mouth, you could see it in Sami's eyes. That wasn't frustration. That wasn't disappointment. That was rage boiling over after months of disrespect. Trick laughed. Priest smirked. And Sami? Sami exploded. One punch turned into chaos. Chaos turned into carnage. And suddenly SmackDown wasn't a show anymore, it was a crime scene. Here's the part nobody's talking about: Sami didn't just attack them. He sent a message. Every strike on Trick Williams looked personal. Like Sami was saying, you think I'm the underdog? You think I'm still the joke? And Damian Priest thought his size and intimidation would shut Sami down. Instead, Priest got dragged into a storm he couldn't control. Let me ask you something: who do you think Sami was more angry at, Trick Williams or Damian Priest? Because that answer changes everything. Damian tried to play the enforcer, tried to play the calm powerhouse. But Sami didn't back down. He charged straight at Priest like a man who had nothing left to lose. And that's what makes this terrifying. Sami Zayn with nothing to lose is the most dangerous version of Sami Zayn we've ever seen. No jokes, no dancing, no second guessing, just violence and purpose. And Trick Williams? The confidence vanished real fast. That swagger turned into survival mode. You could see it. Trick wasn't expecting this Sami. He expected the emotional guy, the sympathetic guy, not the guy willing to burn the whole place down. Quick question: did Trick Williams underestimate Sami Zayn, yes or no? Because SmackDown answered that loud and clear. Officials tried to step in, didn't matter. Sami fought through them like they weren't even there. This wasn't about winning a match, this was about respect. And that's the scary part for the locker room. Because if Sami Zayn is done playing fair, who's safe? Damian Priest might be powerful, but power doesn't stop obsession. Trick Williams might be flashy, but flash doesn't survive fury. Sami Zayn just proved he's not the underdog anymore, he's the reckoning. Now here's the real debate, and I want everyone answering this. Should SmackDown punish Sami Zayn, or did Trick Williams and Damian Priest bring this on themselves? Because let's be real, this didn't come out of nowhere. This was weeks of tension, disrespect, and undercutting boiling over in one violent moment. And if this is the Sami Zayn we're getting from now on, SmackDown just became very uncomfortable for a lot of people. One last thing: do you want to see Sami Zayn vs Damian Priest one-on-one, or Sami Zayn vs Trick Williams first? Comment, share, argue. Because this story is far from over and Ring Rumble is watching every second of it. Say it with your chest: this wasn't a meltdown, this was a warning. Because when the cameras cut away, the damage was already done. Sami Zayn didn't just embarrass Trick Williams and Damian Priest on SmackDown, he changed how everyone looks at him. And here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. Sami Zayn has been right this entire time. Think about it. Every time Sami clawed his way up, someone told him to wait. Every time he earned momentum, someone took the spotlight. Every time he stood up for himself, he was called emotional. But when Damian Priest stares you down like you're beneath him, when Trick Williams talks like you're just another stepping stone, how long are you supposed to smile and nod? So let me throw this at you: how many chances would you give before snapping? 1, 2, or none at all? Because Sami reached his limit. And once that switch flipped, there was no turning it back. You could see it when he cornered Priest. No fear, no hesitation, just a man staring down a mountain and daring it to fall on him. Sami didn't care about the size difference. He didn't care about the odds. He cared about sending a message so loud it would echo backstage. And it did. Trick Williams tried to regroup, tried to keep that bravado alive. But his eyes told a different story. That wasn't confidence, that was panic wrapped in arrogance. Trick realized too late that he poked the wrong man at the wrong time. Be honest, did Trick Williams talk his way into a fight he couldn't finish? Because that's exactly what it looked like. And Damian Priest? Priest prides himself on control, on intimidation, on being the final boss energy in any room. But Sami disrupted that aura. For the first time in a long time, Priest looked caught off guard, not beaten but rattled. And that matters. Because when a powerhouse gets rattled, they get reckless. And when Sami Zayn smells blood, he doesn't stop. Now picture the locker room after this. Whispers, side eyes, nobody laughing, because they all saw it. The Sami Zayn they thought they understood is gone. This version doesn't ask for respect. He takes it. So here's a serious question: is Sami Zayn becoming the most unpredictable man on SmackDown right now? Because unpredictability is more dangerous than strength. And let's not ignore this: management is watching. Suspensions? Fines? Maybe. But here's the problem: can SmackDown afford to push Sami Zayn away when he's this hot? When the crowd is locked in? When the chaos is must-see? Because every time WWE tries to suppress someone like this, it only makes them louder. And if they let this continue, then Damian Priest better be ready for a war. Trick Williams better rethink every word he says. And the rest of SmackDown better choose a side. Last thing before you scroll: answer this honestly. Is Sami Zayn the hero snapping under pressure, or the villain SmackDown created themselves? Comment your take, debate it, argue it out. Because this isn't over, not even close. And Ring Rumble will be right here when it all blows up again. And if you think this stops here, you're not paying attention. Because moments like this don't cool down, they ignite. Sami Zayn has officially entered that dangerous zone where wins and losses don't even matter anymore. This is about pride. This is about being looked at as a threat instead of an afterthought. And once a superstar realizes violence gets louder reactions than patience, there's no going back. Ask yourself this: when was the last time Sami Zayn looked this unhinged and this focused at the same time? Exactly, never. That's why Trick Williams should be worried. Trick thrives on momentum, on confidence, on walking into a room like he owns it. But confidence cracks the moment someone refuses to be intimidated, and Sami flat out refused. He didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. He didn't back away. He charged forward. And that does something to a man's psyche. Because now Trick has to ask himself a question he's never had to answer before: what if I can't scare this guy? Meanwhile, Damian Priest is standing there with a whole different problem. Priest is used to being the final word, the wall nobody gets through. But Sami didn't try to go around him, he went straight through. Let me know in the comments: did Sami Zayn expose a crack in Damian Priest's armor? Because once that crack exists, everyone starts aiming for it. And don't overlook this detail: Sami didn't celebrate. He didn't pose. He didn't soak in the moment. He stood there breathing heavy, eyes locked, like he was daring anyone to step up next. That's not adrenaline, that's intent. Which brings us to the scariest part of all: what happens next week? Does Sami Zayn walk out and explain himself? Does he double down and attack again? Or does SmackDown try to rein him in before this spirals out of control? And be honest, do you want Sami Zayn to be controlled, or do you want to see how far this version can go? Because chaos sells. And this chaos feels real. If you're Damian Priest, do you confront Sami head-on, or do you strike first before Sami gets another chance to embarrass you? If you're Trick Williams, do you clap back with words, or do you realize words got you into this mess? Drop this one below: who needs revenge more right now, Trick Williams or Damian Priest? Because revenge is coming. That much is guaranteed. And Sami Zayn, he's not running from it. He's welcoming it. This feels like the beginning of something ugly, personal, violent. The kind of rivalry that doesn't need a title to matter. The kind that ends with someone getting carried out while the other stands tall in the wreckage. So don't blink. Because the moment Sami Zayn snapped on SmackDown wasn't the climax, it was the opening shot. And whatever happens next, SmackDown will never look at Sami Zayn the same way again. And here's the part that should have every fan arguing right now. This version of Sami Zayn, this version might actually be unstoppable. Not because he's the strongest, not because he's the fastest, but because he's finally stopped caring about approval. That's dangerous. For years, Sami wanted to be liked, by the crowd, by management, by the locker room. And the moment you strip that away, the moment a man realizes respect doesn't come from patience but from pressure, you get what we saw on SmackDown: raw, unfiltered, violent. So let me ask you, is this the real Sami Zayn we were always supposed to get? Or is this what happens when a good man gets pushed too far? Because if you look closely, this wasn't random. This wasn't impulsive. Sami didn't swing wildly. Every move was deliberate, every target chosen. He wasn't seeing red, he was seeing clear. And that should terrify Trick Williams. Trick lives off reactions, off moments, off being the loudest voice in the room. But Sami didn't react the way Trick wanted. He didn't trade insults. He didn't play the game. He ended it. And now Trick's biggest weapon, his mouth, might be his biggest weakness. Tell me this: does Trick Williams even know how to respond to someone who doesn't care what he says? Because Damian Priest understands something Trick might not. When someone challenges your dominance and survives, the balance shifts. Priest can't ignore this. He can't laugh it off. If he does, he looks weak. But if he confronts Sami and loses control, that aura he's built shatters. So what's the move? Ambush Sami? Outmuscle him? Or try to outsmart a man who's already embraced chaos? And here's another question for you: if a triple threat happens between these three, who walks out standing? Think about it before you answer, because the dynamics are insane. Sami brings desperation, Trick brings ego, Priest brings power. That's not just a match, that's a collision waiting to happen. And don't ignore the crowd reaction. The fans didn't boo, they didn't recoil, they leaned in. Because deep down, everyone understands snapping points. Everyone understands being overlooked. Sami Zayn just voiced that frustration with his fists. So now the pressure is on SmackDown. Do they lean into this darker Sami and let him become a problem, or do they try to put the genie back in the bottle? And we all know how that usually ends. Last question, and this one matters most. If you were standing across the ring from Sami Zayn right now, would you step up, or would you step back? Comment your answer. Share this with someone who thinks Sami went too far. Because whether you love it or hate it, this is the most real Sami Zayn has ever felt. And the fallout? It's going to be violent.